서른다는 걸 알아 진심을 말해줘 결국
Hi, my name is Auni Udina binti Rafidi.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Shazani binti Damsari.
Hi, my name is Nana binti Mama Bahari. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And hello everyone, my name is Zahra binti Abdul Nasir.
Hi, my name is Mariam Jamila binti Yushina Asmara.
So we are going to present about
Let me start with the introduction. Face mask. What is face mask? A face mask is a covering that you wear over your face, for example, to prevent yourself from breathing bad air or spreading germs. It is only covering part of the face. There are many types of face masks. Each type have their own advantages. For example, fabric mask, surgical mask, N95 mask, and face mask with velvets. Nowadays, COVID-19 hit the country which is contained coronavirus. This virus will attack the human's respiratory system and the virus will damage the human's lung. Day by day, cases due to coronavirus increasing. When the situation becomes worse, the World Health Organization (WHO) took action to advise people to wear face masks. People started buying face masks to protect themselves, and panic buying happened when stock decreasing.
Now, I am going to present this summary of the article, which is Malaysian pharmacists and suppliers struggle to get demand for masks. Based on the article, pharmacists in Malaysia had a crisis of the shortage of face masks due to COVID-19 outbreak. The pharmacist has not been able to get the face mask from the suppliers over the past 2 weeks, while the consumers are always seeking for the face mask. Besides, the suppliers also cannot get the supply from the local manufacturers. On 7 February, the authorities had asked the local manufacturers to increase face mask production. Moreover, due to the shortage of supply, there were also consumers that were willingly buying the face mask at the highest price. This happened because there are sellers who always take this opportunity to set the expensive price. The price has been set by the government at 80 cents per unit for the 3-ply mask and 6 ringgit per unit for N95. Most of the suppliers in Malaysia import face masks from China, and even they could not get supplies now due to shortage in China itself. The local manufacturers also face the challenge in getting raw materials from China. The authorities also advise Malaysians against panic buying and do not waste the face mask for the unnecessary thing. So, in conclusion, we can conclude that the supply is lacking because there was high demand for face masks. The suppliers cannot fulfill all the demand. The shortage of this stock makes the seller want to increase the price.
Now let's move to demand and supply. As we all know, COVID-19 first appeared in China at the end of 2019 and season has spread throughout the world, causing our country to be affected in early 2020. At first, there were only about 10 to 20 cases per day. At the moment, the government only advises citizens to protect themselves from the virus. COVID-19 infections quickly grew to multiple cases per day in the midst of the year. To prevent further cases, the government simply mandated the use of face masks, and all citizens were acting on their own initiative to protect themselves. Besides, the government imposes fines on people who do not wear face masks. According to that, citizens are required to purchase face masks in order to minimize contracting COVID-19 infection, which is amplified by the authorities. As a result, the demand for face masks at the time was rising rapidly due to society's sudden desire to obtain face masks. Since the first confirmed case of COVID-19 in Malaysia last year, demand for surgical face masks has gone through the roof, according to a source from a local pharmacy. This item is sold out everywhere, particularly in the Klang Valley, and it is believed that this is due to unjustified panic on social media. Almost every pharmacy got their surgical face mask from a local manufacturer. However, due to the outbreak that occurred, manufacturers stopped operations, particularly in Chinese cities that are under lockdown. For this item, they then turned to local manufacturers. The cost is slightly higher, however, because local manufacturers face lower production volume and high manufacturing costs. As per research conducted by the vendors, the current supply of face masks is unlikely to fulfill demand. More will be requested by the ministry. As an outcome, sellers are scrambling to reap the benefits by placing a high price on the buyer because they know that the community will still buy it even at a high price because wearing a face mask is now mandatory for the community. Besides, due to their outrageous cost, masks will see a drop in sales. People with low incomes, for example, may be refused face masks as they cannot afford them. What can be made clear is that as the demand for face masks grows, the market will be unable to meet the demand. As a consequence, traders will raise the price of face masks to make more money, causing the demand for face masks to fall because some people can afford to buy them.
Shortage happens when quantity demanded is greater than quantity supplied. This problem occurs because the price is situated below the equilibrium price. There are two effects when price increase for both buyers and sellers. First, when price increase, buyers will cut their quantity demanded because the price has become expensive, so quantity demanded will increase. On the other hand, sellers will increase their supply since price has increased and profitable for them. Therefore, quantity supplied will increase.
For example, when price of mask is at 30 ringgit per box, quantity demanded of mask is 8 units, while quantity supplied is 4 units. 4 units minus 8 units equal to negative 4 units of mask. Shortage happens.
Today, I will talk about the maximum price. Maximum price or the ceiling price is the legal price set by the government, which is set below the equilibrium price. In 2020 and 2021, we face the worst situation, which is there is a COVID-19. So, WHO requires all the people to wear the face mask to avoid from being infected. So, the government set the ceiling price for this face mask. It had the buyers to buy the face mask at the cheapest and the lowest price. When the situation getting worse, WHO requires all to wear the face mask, and these situations lead to the shortage. Okay, now let me explain about the shortage. Shortage happens when quantity demanded is higher than the quantity supplied. This happens when the buyers start to buy the face mask in the larger quantity. It's called panic buying. Okay, here there are advantages and disadvantages of maximum price. For the first one is advantages of maximum price. It helps buyers to buy the face mask at the cheaper price. And the second one is government set this price to avoid the market price from rising after a certain level, as this will harm the consumer, especially the poor. Okay, let me give the example. Okay, for example, when war, inflation, or festival, the poor can afford to buy the goods and services because government had set the maximum price. Okay, then for the disadvantages for the maximum price is it can lead to the black market. Okay, for example, some producer maybe smuggle out or sell the product to neighboring countries at higher price to gain more profit. And for the second one is, since there is no profit to gain because the producer need to follow the maximum price, so some producer will cut their production, and this will lead to the greater shortage. And for the last one is, this maximum price seems unfair to producer, as they have and they need to sell their production at a lower or cheaper price.
In the nutshell, the basic concepts of supply and demand are useful into our daily life. Overall, we know that we as society can affect their business and the demand curve. Based on what we learned, when demand for the face mask is increases, the quantity supply for face mask is insufficient to meet the demand. At that time, shortage will happen. In the situation above, the seller take an advantage of this pandemic by raising the price of face masks. It is unfair because there are people who are less fortunate and cannot afford to buy it. At the end, the government will intervene in this face mask marketing by setting the ceiling price. This is to prevent the bad attitude of setting unfair price.